Hey guys, this is Mistress Nightmare here, and we're going to be reading Chapter 8, My Kinda Girl. Guys, we're nearly near the ending of this story. Before we get started, please hit that like button, comment, subscribe to this channel if you guys want more creepypasta fanfictions out there. Until then, let's get started. Slender's point of view. The dark clouds in the sky, and the thunder and lightning roared and shined. The storm that came over that night was far from finished. It started last night. All was going until late morning. No doubt the rivers nearly become flooded. I was about to return to my home when I felt or sensed a presence of a human not far from here, from where I was. I judged by how far they were, and they were very close to the power station. They were getting closer and closer. It looks like Kate was going to have a new victim today, but the presence seems familiar. Definitely something I felt before. Could it be? But if it is, why is she going towards the power station? She knows what will happen if. Unless she. Oh no. Allison's point of view. I tried to fight and get loose from the ropes, but all they did was cut into my skin. Now my wrists were bleeding. It really hurt. I could feel tears rolling down my face. I couldn't free myself. I was scared, sad, and alone. Some of my black hair streaked down to my cheeks from where my tears had dripped and dried. I felt a gust of wind. It was strong enough to dry most of my tears. I looked up to see the familiar faceless face. He kneeled down in front of me and peeled the duct tape off my mouth. "She's going to kill you," it was the first thing I said. "No, she won't. She's not strong enough," he replied as soon as he untied my hands and legs. Slender Man suddenly let out a yell, and I saw Kate stabbing him in the back repeatedly. He fell to the ground, hands on his knees, as blood began to pour onto the ground. "Allison, run," he grunted. I did run. I ran towards him and pulled Kate off of him before she could do any more damage. I threw her to the ground and kicked her. I was about to turn around towards Slender Man when she pounced on me and tried to stab me. She was stronger than she looked. I tried to keep the knife away from me as possible, but she managed to stab me in what felt far from the left side of my chest. I screamed as I could feel the blade sink deeper and deeper into my flesh. "Get off her!" Slenderman yelled. I saw one of his tentacles wrapped around her neck and lift her into the air. Then he sent her flying towards the wall. The impact was violent as she actually went through the wall and into the other room. I placed my hand over my wound as Slenderman fell to his knees. As he panted, a small pool of blood began to go underneath him. His blood was still pouring from his back like a little stream. I ran to him. I wrapped my arms around his neck. "Please, don't die," I choked. "I don't want to die," he said between breath. "I promise." He gently placed his hands on my face and wiped the tears away with his thumbs. He leaned his forehead against mine, and I could tell he was smiling. Then he put his arms around my waist and stood up on his feet, taking me with him, while keeping our foreheads connected. Suddenly I felt myself getting swept off the floor as he was picking me up bridal style. "Thank you," he said. "For what?" I asked. "For saving me." "Oh, you're welcome." He let out a small chuckle when we both heard a groan. We both looked over to see Kate slowly rising from the rumble that was covering her. I felt a gust of wind, and the next thing I knew, we were in a bedroom. It wasn't my room or the room from the house, but it was a different room. Where are we? I asked. My home, he said. He placed me on the bed gently and then disappeared for a moment and came back with medical supplies. Now let's take care of those wounds, he said. You first, I said. Okay. I'm okay, really. You don't need to worry about me. I wrapped my arms around him and rubbed his back. When I pulled away, there was no blood on my hand. That's when he grabbed my hands and started bandaging my wrist. Once my wounds were clean and covered, he set me on the bed next to me as I laid my head on his shoulder and held his hand. Our shadows formed on the wall from the moonlight that entered the room, showing the clouds were gone. The skies were clear. Am I forgiven? He asked quietly. I lifted my head and looked at him. I rather forgive you and move on than hate you for the rest of my life. Allison, he gently placed his hand on my right cheek and held it tenderly. It was almost like if he was going to ask for permission. I granted as I placed my lips where his would be. It wasn't long before I could feel his own lips move in sync with mine. I felt his hands move from my face to my waist, where he pulled me closer. Both our hands were interlocked with each other, as neither was usually showing signs of separation anytime soon.